Hello, my Bill 1000 Nation. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, everyone's having a great day. If not, I hope it gets better from here. We are back with another Maverick Files. This one was titled Four Disturbing CIA Discoveries Declassified Volume 4. All right, I'm really excited to get into today's story. If you guys are excited as I am, please go ahead, turn them lights down low, put on something comfy, cup, something special. Let's get disturbed. It's in the title and we're using it. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and say it now instead at the end of the video, just in case. If you guys would like to just chat or anything like that, you can check out the Discord. The link is going to be in the description. Go check it out. We have a lot of fun over there. Yeah. Now, let's go ahead and get into today's story.
While many topics I've discussed and researched are fictional or based in conspiracy, I try to keep the Declassified series as strictly only information that has been provided to the public via decade-old informational leaks or from the Freedom of Information Act.
Okay.
And, unfortunately, these are real, uncomfortably and disturbingly real. It's been a while since we've done this. Welcome back.
Thank you.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission.
Turn that down a little bit. Oh, my Lord, in my ears.
In 1953,
Cures for cancer.
a confidential report was written and delivered to the CIA, simply titled, Vida's Cancer Cure, Country, Hungary. The report is only one page, and there doesn't seem to be any declassified responses or follow-ups to the report. But what it does claim is of a Hungarian chemist who, through many experiments, created a cure for cancer. The report contains so little information that it doesn't even know the chemist's full name. Just Vida, first name unknown. According to the report, Vida's cure for cancer had an overwhelming success, claiming that 97% of all patients who were treated had been cured of their cancer, but that it is only used on patients who had not been treated with x-rays. It goes on to say that Vida hasn't revealed the formula for the cure and has already been arrested by the AVH, the Hungarian KGB, if you would. Many professionals immediately began calling Vida a liar, stating, "This method of procedure clearly falls within the category of quack doctoring, and that no one in the board of oncologists have actually heard of people being cured of their cancers." Yet, the AVH have placed Vida in a Budapest hospital under strict and constant supervision, providing him a team of trained professionals. Finally, the report ends by stating, if the Vida drops prove to be of real value as a remedy against cancer, they will be presented to the world as a Soviet discovery.
Okay.
Fast forward several years. It is now 1959. A lengthy letter has been received by the Director of Central Intelligence, Alan Dulles. In the letter, William Peabody Smith shares a letter that he had written to Senator Neuberger, crafting a tale of facts into what can only be defined as a conspiracy theory. In his letter to the senator, William mentions how the American Medical Association is a front for political parties, putting research and medicine second to traditional methods. The American Medical Association is not doing all it can for public health, and is actually acting as a roadblock to retard or stop anything except drug methods and practices from being evaluated. It is run by a politically minded control group who dictate what drugs can be used and what methods employed. William then proceeds to go into great detail, describing the career history of one Dr. Emanuel Stammer, a doctor that was given a formula to, supposedly, fight and remove skin cancer. They would practice this formula against multiple patients, each one stating that, after the formula was given, the skin cancer had, quote-unquote, fallen off, leaving healed skin. After learning of his methods, the American Medical Association charged Dr. Stammer of unethical practice and suspended his license for a year for using an untested substance in a serious case of cancer. Once Dr. Stammer returned to work a year later, he would discover that his license had now in fact become permanently suspended. Although his license would be revoked, Dr. Stammer apparently continued to use this formula, and according to William, it continued to work. I called him up, told him I have a relative with skin cancer. He treated her, and in a few weeks, her cancer fell off, leaving healed skin. That was 17 years ago, and she is still living and well. William lists off multiple rumored clients of Stammer, all
this is
having
true, this is
similar
crazy.
results. That the formula does in fact work. In the end, the letter claims that the American Medical Association had the largest, most powerful lobby in all of Washington, spending nearly $500,000 on public relations. Keep in mind, that is $500,000 in 1959. Afterwards, Allen would simply write back, "It was considerate of you to write your suggestions. They are being given careful attention and consideration." And with that, the cure that William Smith had been referring to, cribizin, was ultimately debunked by the American Medical Association.
Attempted to reproduce Ivy's claimed results. None of these independent researchers observed any effect of cribozin on cancer. A compilation of these institutions' negative data was reported in the Journal of the American Medical Association in 1951. Cribozin's backers responded by alleging a conspiracy against the drug. In 1959, Ivy began producing his own version of the drug under the name Carcalon. That's crazy, though.
Holmesburg Prison, located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was officially given the nickname.
I mean, would they try to hide a cure for cancer? I mean, something that would save so many people. Would it be worth hiding it just to keep putting money in big health? Big corporations that make like medicines and shit. I'm just saying, I don't trust it. I don't. Like, let's keep this fire from spreading, so let's set all this forest on fire so it can't jump. There's nothing to jump to. Cool, but we just destroy something in the process, you know? Yeah, it keeps things from making worse, but things happen all the time. So if there was like a cure for some cancers, you know, not like one of the big bads, like, you know, you're dead, you got it, you're going to die, there's no, you know, just like one of the more benign type cancers, like if there was anything that could just take that stuff away, like would the government want you to know about it? Because big pharma, they gonna lose some money, bro. Well, you're not going to need this cream that came out that helps with this, or this cream that came out that helps with this. You can just take this one thing for like a week and then you're done. They would go out of fucking business, bro.
Name, the Terrordome, and for seemingly good reasons. I've covered numerous CIA documented attempts of brainwashing and mind control, but somehow, I'm still surprised every time I find another study. Originally, Holmesburg was created to introduce the idea of isolation-based punishments to prisoners, but overpopulation in the prisons made this difficult, and riots began to burst out due to overcrowding in cells. After many controversies, Holmesburg made itself infamously known, and so, starting in the late 1950s, Holmesburg opened itself up to medical experiments. They opened their doors to Dr. Albert Kligman, and upon entering the prison, the doctor noted, "All I saw before me were acres of skin. It was like a farmer seeing a fertile field for the first time. Albert Kligman would use disturbing procedures, exposing prisoners to horrific situations, to which he received payments from supposedly 33 sponsors, companies including Johnson & Johnson and the US Army. His practices exposed inmates to numerous diseases and skin infections, like herpes, skin blistering chemicals, and would also feed them psychoactive drugs. A disturbing retelling comes from one inmate, in which they claim they were exposed to microwave radiation, sulfuric acid, and that it left their forearm skin in a leather-like substance, along with blistering and burning their... These experiments would often attempt to study the concept of regrowth by stitching ligaments and fragments of human corpses to the backs of other inmates. Another inmate came forward and stated, "They used my body. They did things to me that were inhuman. I feel less than a woman because of the things they did to me. This brought me pain. A lot of pain." Despite how horrific the experiments were, they were not uncommon in the cell blocks. In the 1,200-person facility, over 80% of inmates faced experiments. The experiments ranged wildly, and even purposely resulted in spreading several flus and poisons across the cell blocks.
Fuck, bro?
But it was the United States Army who contracted Kligman to perform mind-altering experiments. Subjects would be taken to personal trailers, unaware of what drugs they were being given, and then were given multiple serums with, some rumored, to contain LSD. Now, as treacherous as this all was,
Hey, we've heard
the
that.
inmates did consent to the experiments, to a degree. They would be given forms to sign that stated that they would be paid per experiment. Unfortunately, the harsh severity of some experiments were purposefully left out of the forms, which, of course, goes heavily against the Nuremberg Code. Those who were affected by the serums were documented to develop sudden violent behavior, temporary paralysis, and hallucinations, which lasted for days. In 1976, the public would hear of Kligman's actions through a court case, Roach versus Kligman. Jerome Roach would describe the horrors he faced and the lack of warning and misleading forms that he had signed. He recounts how he took a quote-unquote temperature pill and was told that there would be no side effects. However, within 4 days, Roach developed various symptoms of physical illness, including sore throats, sore joints, fever, nausea, and sores and rashes. In addition to the assortment of symptoms that Roach developed, he was then improperly treated for the symptoms. In the end, the court dismissed all claims filed against Kligman. Once the public began hearing more and more about the Terrordome, it led to many prisoners forming together to file lawsuits against Dow Chemical, Johnson & Johnson, and Kligman, resulting in 298 ex-prisoners suing for better medical care and for financial compensation for being test subjects. In 2002, the federal court ruled that the statute of limitations
we were robbed of our
passed,
health,
and the ex-prisoners' cases
and what?
were all dismissed.
Operation Condor. I think
November
I've heard that.
25th, 1975. Head of the Chilean National Intelligence Directorate has just invited 50 intelligence officers across South America for a special meeting. A meeting to discuss how to keep the political stronghold that they had growing. And with the help of the United States CIA and rumored help of France, although they deny any participation, Operation Condor was established. The USA, and especially the CIA, is not a shy force in the face of other countries' political fights. But Operation Condor is one of the more sinister campaigns that the CIA operated. A campaign to repress liberal and democratic parties and eliminate Marxist ideologies across South America in any means necessary. Coups, misinformation, assassinations, and much, much worse. From 1975 to 1983, approximately 760 people were kidnapped.
Sorry if it's so dark. It is dark for me too. I'm sorry.
Tortured, and murdered, all to help prevent left-wing politics from rising, according to the Archive of Terror. But in its prime clandestine time, the numbers of deaths attributed to Operation Condor is estimated to actually reach over 60,000. Victims included not only union and political leaders, but priests, monks, nuns, and students. Not only did the United States fund this operation, the CIA provided them with secretive information, provided planning and routing, and trained them on how to torture. With Argentina facing a loss from the Falklands War, the leadership in Argentina fell, and thus resulted in multiple more South America dictatorships falling. And with this, Operation Condor was over.
It's crazy. I love this shit, bro.
I aim to not theorize or speculate, so sometimes certain entries feel short, or maybe even rushed. That's not because I want to get through a video quickly, but simply because the information that has been provided to the public is
Just what it is.
lackluster. This factor alone has made it rather difficult to include or exclude topics, but we'll continue nonetheless. This entry being a prime example. A document written by the CIA was delivered and presented to Richard Clarke, the chief counterterrorism advisor on the National Security Council and the National Coordinator for Security. After the USS Cole bombing, in which Al-Qaeda launched a suicide attack on the USS Cole, killing 17 Navy sailors, the CIA quickly authored up a letter. The Blue Sky Memo. There is no information regarding what the memo specifically consisted of, but the premise was direct and simple. This is what the CIA can do if they were elevated to operate above legal, financial, and political restrictions. AKA, here's what we can accomplish if the sky were blue. I don't know what's scarier, everything we know that the CIA has done in the past, or everything the CIA brainstormed if the sky were blue. As always, thank you for watching. It felt good to get back into the series. I hope you enjoyed your stay. I've been, as always,
I want to see what it
has done
said.
in the past. AKA,
Oh,
this is what the CIA can do.
it says from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, the Blue Sky Memo was a document authored by the Central Intelligence Agency. The premise of the memo was to describe actions the CIA should undertake if it did not have to update under legal, financial, and political restrictions. That is to say, if the sky were blue. The memorandum was inspired by the USS Cole bombing and written in the final week of the Clinton administration. It was delivered to Richard A. Clarke on December 29th, 2000. According to the 9/11 Convention's report, no action was taken on these ideas in the few remaining weeks of the Clinton administration. National Security Advisor Sandy Berger did not recall seeing or being briefed on the Blue Sky Memo, nor was the memo discussed during the transition with incoming top Bush administration officials. CIA Director George Tenet and his deputy told us they pressed these ideas as options after the new administration took office. Wow. Okay. I mean, that was the end of the video. Just, yeah. Wow, bro. This is fucking batshit crazy. Batshit crazy. All right. I really enjoyed today's video. I love Maverick Files, man. This is good shit, bro. All right. If y'all enjoyed today's video as much as I did, please go down there, leave a thumbs up. It really does help the channel grow. While you're down there going over, slap the subscribe button. Become part of that Built for 1,000 Nation. We do some crazy, weird, wild, wonderful shit here, bruh. If you want to know when all that shit happens, ding that bell. It might work for you. It might not. It probably don't. If it do, it's going to be late. It's just how it is. But if it does, in any shape or form, jump in on one of my premieres, go over in the live chat and be like, hey, Bill, you know that ding you just licked across my keyboard? It's brought me here to you. Leave a like and dip. That's all you got to do. That was a weird one. Yeah. As always, be good to one another. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Wow. CIA, bro. Trust them. Don't trust them. It's all shady.
Elevated to operate a
See? All shady.